Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. Have you guys heard of Matt Miller? He's not only the guy who paints those amazing portraits of all your favorite heroes in the liberty movement and in pop culture, but he's also now an official sponsor of this show. From Murray Rothbard to Ron Paul, Dr. Robert Malone to Darth Maul, Matt Miller's Liberty Portraits has something fun for everyone to spice up your home or office and showcase your heroes. Go check out his incredible work at libertyportraits.com. Grab a print to impress your friends, hire him for a custom portrait, or bring him out to a festival to capture your event in real life in a beautiful and unique way. To find out more, just head over to libertyportraits.com. Once again, that is libertyportraits.com. All right. Yes, I'm not late. To those of you who swore that I would be late today, I'm not late, because if I set my time for 2:30 instead of 2, then that is me being punctual. I can just bend and shift time at will. We as humans have more power than we believe. But hey guys, welcome back to the show. Welcome to the least comfortable show on the web. Today we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about Epstein. We're talking about Leah Thomas. We're talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson. That's how you pronounce that, I'm pretty sure. We're talking about Zelensky deepfakes. The New World Order, Biden's New World Order, special New World Order. Talking about all that and much more in just a moment. Let's get into it, and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
You have to stop before you do what I call activist work.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke! We are still here!
We have to say yes to socialism.
No, tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
It's a big club. You ain't in it, folks. Welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. It's The System is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, religion, culture, and everything. All these uncomfortable topics that swirl together to be this reality that we live in now, if that's even what you want to call it. This dystopian nightmare, hellscape that we live in. We just hang out and we chat about it and make jokes about it, because as the world burns, all we have left is laughter, and they're currently trying to take that away from us as well. So, many things to talk about, and I would say that it's going to be a short one, but every time I do, I talk for 3 hours. I have a speech to go write that I'm presentation? I don't know how these things work, in a couple days, so I'm going to try and wrap this up. I'm flying out tomorrow. I'm going to be hanging out with Jack Casey all weekend over at the actual Libertarian Party of Delaware and their convention and all that, so it should be fun. I do have, so it's written, all right? I've got the ideas down, but, I'm a bit of a procrastinator, but I assumed, they need me to talk for 30 minutes, and every single week I come on here and I say, this is going to be a short one, and then I end up talking for literally 3 hours if you include the bonus content, so I think I'll be okay. I think I'll figure it out. But we're talking about the news, talking about the fire, the dumpster fire. Before we do that, let's remind us all about you all. People like Hamana let me get that one. It's a new one. Got a lot in here now, so they go real fast because I keep the time limit. I keep it the same, and I just add so that the thing just gets faster every time. Humana Cogito is the newest. Desiree Holden, Ryan Graham, Kimberly Owen, Tom Patrick, Peter, Chris, Alex, Break. I'm just doing first names here. Lisa, Joan, Cole, Representation, Stefan, Carolina B. Carolina B is in a bad mood today. What's up? Aaron Stute, Trenton Campbell, Mary Rome, John, and many, many others. If you guys want to get your name on that list and possibly have it read, go on over to the Downers Club. I know Patreon is currently kicking people off its platform again because I guess that's a successful business model that they have. So who knows how much longer I'll be there, and I need to find a better option. But for now, go on over to patreon.com/thesystemsdown, and you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, the bonus episodes, the after parties, the movie, TV reviews, the game shows, the fun, weird shit over there. Patreon.com/thesystemsdown. That is pretty much the only way that I make money on this show. So if you support, it costs as little as $5, which is one super chat because YouTube does not allow me to super chat. They never have. They don't like me very much, I've noticed. So $5 gets you all that stuff. But even for the $1 level, as little as $1 a month, you can come join the after party live streams. You will not be able to get the replays of the after party, but you can join the party as it airs. So do that. Patreon.com/thesystemsdown. All right, we're going to jump straight into the news. JackCaseyBooks.com, LibertyPortraits.com. I might bring them up again later because got to do due diligence to the people who are nice enough to give me their hard-earned dollars around here. But yeah, let's roll. Let's roll into what's happening. We like to start off with the good news, of course, because, as you know, life is hard. Life is dark. The world is dark. Most of the news is dark. And sometimes we just got to be joyous and happy when good things happen. We have to point them out. So with that said, did you guys know? It was like 10 minutes after I finished last week's episode, talking about Jussie Smollett getting sentenced. Which that was like kind of an older story by that point too, because I usually only do these on Wednesdays. So sometimes if there's a big spicy thing that came out on Thursday, as they always do, it's a little bit old by the time I talk about it. And then if I talk about it the next day, hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. Where did I lose you? Exactly. This is great. I'm just making more work for myself. Cool. So, I guess we start over.
The following is a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
I'll make questionable decisions. I'll be in fact of all I saw. Judge me for my sins. If I'm your image.
Oh yeah, we're back. Least comfortable show on the web. This is The System is Down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics like conspiracies, politics, and religion. But I'm not going to do all this stuff again. Whatever. I might just leave it in, or I don't know. I'm going to have to edit the audio, which sucks. But yeah, my mic didn't come back on. We're talking about, where did I lose you guys? Was it right after the credits? Let me know in the comments. Was it right after the credits? It seems like that might have funked it up a bit. It seems like that's happened before. I usually notice a little bit sooner than that. I'm old. Jack Casey says, your gestures were solid, though. I got the feeling of your words. Thank you. I decided to go for a more diverse strategy and do, every now and then, deaf people, they need podcasts as well. They need to know what I'm saying. And y'all know that the closed captions on YouTube are never accurate, so you can't trust them. So I was just trying to really, I don't know sign language. I could spell out each word, but I'm an even slower hand reader than I am a actual reader. So I don't think that would work out very well. So I just decided I'm going to flail and get my point across that way. 1 minute, Jack says. No worries. Okay, cool. So we're talking about Jussie Smollett. Did you guys hear about Jussie Smollett? Or was that all completely gone? Let me see if this actually works. Share screen. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Cool. So Jussie Smollett was released from jail. And I don't know how much of this I need to recap. Did you guys hear any of the Jussie Smollett stuff? Audio is totally fine. The whole episode, just the video clip you played is when your mic cut off for that 1 minute. I don't know which video clip you're talking about, man. Anyway, Jussie Smollett got out on completely bullshit stuff because that's how our justice system works. That's how our Jussie system works. Anytime I talk about something on a Wednesday, by Thursday, it's completely null and void, it seems like. Or something completely new comes out that changes Biden will say something on Wednesday, I'll cover it, and then on Wednesday evening, right after I'm done with this, he'll come out and say something even more asinine. So this happened. So I talked about Jussie all last week, or not all last week, last Wednesday I talked about Jussie on the episode, and on Thursday, the day after, it was 10 minutes after, Jussie Smollett got released from jail, and the reason being that his appeal is going to take his sentence is 150 days, and his appeal is probably going to take longer than that, so they're like, hey, just walk free. You can just go. That's fine. You can just go. Because that's how, I'm no Sarwark lawyer or nothing. I don't know how these things work exactly, but if somebody gets sentenced, if the amount of the sentence is so small that the appeal will take longer, then why don't you just serve the time? I know if he was legitimately innocent, then that would be kind of bullshit, but we've kept people, let's just throw out an example, like January 6 people that have been sitting without trial in solitary confinement for a year. But Jussie Smollett gets to, just go because they're like, you're not worth our time, kid. You've already wasted enough of our money. And you know that they would have dragged this out and out and out. But Jussie is above the law and he can hang himself however he wants to and, waste thousands of man hours and thousands of dollars from the city. Our tax dollars, my tax dollars, it's Chicago. So that's fun. But, yeah. We got any chats? Now I'm going to be paying even more close attention to the chats, and this is going to take way longer because I'm going to be wondering if you guys can hear me and if I'm just making more work for myself. But yeah, Jussie is part of the I don't know, he's part of the system, he's part of the man, he's part of the let's say the Illuminati or the New World Order, something like that. I don't know. It's just crazy conspiracy stuff. New World Order is a crazy conspiracy theory. That's a thing that you've heard presidents say here and there, like George H.W. said it, and several others have said. And then we had that Ukrainian chick on the news a while back that said New World Order, and that was just 2-3 weeks ago. And somebody else said it recently, and of course, wait. I can't do that. Where's my I should really sort some of this out. Yeah, we're getting into this segment early today, folks, but there's not a lot of Biden news. So here's the segment we like to call.
And Corn Pop was a nigger big shot. Nazi fags. You ain't black.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
That's right. It's Remembering Biden. All the kids' favorite, scratch and sniff segments on The System Is Down. This is what Biden said today, or this week. And it's called, of course, Remembering Biden because when he passes, we will want to be able to look back, and more so because Biden has a hard time remembering himself sometimes. But this is what he had to say this week, and let me know if anything sticks out to you.
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway, we are at an inflection point.
He said it. He said the magic word. All right. So I like, actually, I'm not sure what I like more. The fact that he said that we're going to make a new world order, or the fact that how he started, where this came out of. Did you guys catch that at the beginning?
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day.
As one of the top military people in a secure meeting said to me the other day, and then, Jen Psaki and Nancy Pelosi are backstage like, no. Jen Psaki just knowing that she's going to have to come out and explain for this shit. But yes, the president of the United States did just come out and say, hey, some top secret military advice was shared with me the other day in a private meeting, and it is that we're working on the New World Order. Now, you can say again, and as always, as it is convenient to do, that he's just, he's just talking about like a new order to the world, a new thing that we're doing. Even if he doesn't know that these words, this collection of words, New World Order, has a literal like definition in the zeitgeist. Even if we give him that and say he's just dumb and didn't know what he was saying, like I tried to do for the last lady, how is the United States going to create a new world order if we don't have a global government, global currency, global everything? How do you make a new world order without those things? How does one little section of this world create a world order? Seems a little sus to me, but he did say it. He said the collection of words, and he also admitted that that's what they were talking about in their top secret private meetings, I suppose. So take that however you want, but I'm sure it doesn't relate to any of the craziness that's going on in the world right now. But we do have to keep moving. So, speaking of crazy conspiracy theories that nobody should ever believe, like, if you go back, 2, 3, 4 years, I was talking about this guy. Nobody really knew this guy, but his name was Jeffrey Epstein. And then all of a sudden some news started coming out about him, and I'm like, hey, I know. I said that. I got kicked off of YouTube for saying it before, and now it's true. Yes, we live in a world where Pedophile Island exists. I exhaust this point many, many times, because if you want to say that something is a crazy conspiracy theory, always remember, we live in a world where Pedophile Island exists. Okay? Just let that be known. Not to mention the, killing himself with really thin bed sheets while all the cameras were turned off and the guards were asleep and nobody was around to witness it. Yeah. Sure. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is because I saw like the worst take on Jeffrey Epstein that I've ever seen today. And you'll also remember, if we go back to when, what's-her-face, Ghislaine Maxwell was she was on her trial and all that fun shit that was completely masked and not allowed to be out in the public. I said, just watch, they're going to turn her into... they're going to sympathize with her. They're going to turn her into the victim in all this. And I saw this hot take this week on Twitter, and it's from Nazir Afzal. I don't know who that is, but he's a blue chick genius, former chief prosecutor. Oh, okay. Chair Hopwood Hall, chair something. So he's a legit government stooge, whatever. And he said, "Are you surprised that in the matter of Jeffrey Epstein and hundreds of high-profile men sexually abusing hundreds of young girls and children, the only person convicted is a woman?" Very brave of you, sir. Very, very, very brave of you. Unfortunately, guys, killing yourself now is male privilege. Because we're supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself and also that he got off easy compared to Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, I understand this guy's point that he's trying to say that hundreds and hundreds of people are not being prosecuted. But when you make this a sexism issue, you're not only sympathizing with Ghislaine, but you're making this a sexism issue, which it is not. This is a bunch of, the main guy killed himself or got killed. It is not male privilege to be suicided in prison, okay? Like, everybody knows that that's what happened, whether it's official or not. But I said, of course, on that, if only evil women had the privilege of killing themselves too. I blame the patriarchy for Maxwell still being tragically so alive. Like, man, just such a bad take. And for somebody to weigh in on this and try to make it about, identity politics, like, yeah, probably most of his clients are men, and I hope they all rot forever. And so does every, normal, sane person, every misogynist even wants these men to rot for what they did. Because there are some things, believe it or not, there are things worse than sexism. Right? Like, child sex trafficking is worse. On my scale of priorities, I put that, I put sexism. I mean, it's pretty high up there because, man, that's really important. But also, I think just maybe not just a sliver above that is child trafficking. You know, maybe I'm I don't know, just old school like that. What do you got in the comments? Shannon says, this is satire. This is satire? No, it is not. It was not. I read through it. And there are some other comments that agree with this man. And they're like, oh, yeah, no surprise. Here, I'll share them with you. Amina Adamu says, in a system designed by men for the benefit of men alone, not at all. As in, not at all surprising. I'm not surprised that a deceased person hasn't been convicted. No, okay, so that's it. Yeah, that's basically what I said. And the other guy, whose name I don't even remember, the dude with the French-sounding name, man, I don't remember. But Epstein's pimp, he mysteriously killed himself in prison as well. So there's that. It seems like if anybody got off easy here, it's Ghislaine, who's, as far as we know, in a jail cell. And I don't think there was a perp walk. I don't think there were any pictures of her going into or out of the courthouse or to the prison or anything. Or just trust us. You know, we lost her for a while there. There's a good solid year or so there where she was just out wandering around and they couldn't find her. There were people, granted, taking pictures and posting them online saying, I think I just saw Ghislaine Maxwell at the gas station. That happened, but the CIA and their wonder could not find her. But then they did, and everything went according to the judicial plan, of course. Anyway, speaking of toxic masculinity, let's talk for a minute about Ncaa Swimming. Before we do that, let's read some comments. Jack Casey says, "You mean gay-sounding?" Okay, I don't know what you're trying to do here, Jack. I don't know who you're talking to. All right. And anybody got any fake super chats? By the way, fake super chats in the chats. Put fake super chat in all caps before you type. If you have some direct comment to me, do that so that I know that you're trying to talk to me. Doesn't mean I'll read it. It's free either way, but I will be more likely to read it if you do that. Otherwise, I'm just reading your conversation. Also, if you are in the Downers Club, I am more likely to read your fake super chats. But fake super chats, drop them if you have something to say. Otherwise, we're going to keep going here. Let's talk about, did you guys hear about Leah Thomas, this transgender Ncaa swimming title champion, whatever, situation? It's been going around. It's been making a lot of headlines. It's been in the news. So Ncaa swimming is apparently a thing. I have no idea. I didn't care before, and I still don't really care. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this thing. People saying, oh, Leah shouldn't be, allowed to swim or whatever. And personally, I think that probably, yeah, the rules should be, okay. I think they should amend the rules to not allow people who were born men to compete against women. That might be bigoted or what have you, but it's just a matter. It has nothing to do with your transsexuality or your transgenderism or anything like that. It has to do with a fair playing field and the reason why we're not allowed to, like, take steroids and all the other things that make NCAA swimming, it would make it more fun to watch. So there's a part of me that wants this to be allowed, because I would never watch it if it wasn't for the person born a man stomping the shit out of the women. It's just, it's comical, because South Park made fun of this like 3 years ago and basically said that this would happen, and we all knew that this would happen. There were this isn't that new. This isn't new even. Like, there's been other sports controversies and stuff. There was a UFC something where transgender woman, I guess is what you like, male to female competing against biological female, and pummeled the shit out of her and like broke her skull. It's like, guys, like, I don't care. You do each their own. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. If you want to live in a delusion, then that's perfectly fine with me. That's fine. No shame even. Go for it. Live in your world, in your bubble. Just don't insist that everybody else do it. That's it. Like, I'm a libertarian, as y'all know. So I hope that Leah has a wonderful, healthy life of, like, the best life that she possibly can. But also, stop this. Just, like, how do you take pride and joy in this? Now, there's also controversy around the women who were competing against Leah, and they did great and also lost miserably. But some of them are speaking out now, and it seems a little too late. It seems like if you had something to say, you probably should have said it before you lost to this person. Like, at this point, you're just a sore loser, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, if you were planning on speaking up about this, you had a good while. You knew this was coming down the pipe. You knew what was going to happen, and you knew what the outcome would be. You should have accepted your loss and complained about it before it even happened, because then you would have some credibility now. But it's too little too late. You lost, and you didn't say anything, so here we are. As competitors in this sport, if they all didn't want, people with certain body types or people who are biologically one way, if they all didn't want that to be a factor, they could have spoken up. They could have all rallied together and made that happen. But also, like, to the people that are acting like it's outrageous that Leah is getting this kind of pushback, what did you think was going to happen? What did Leah think was going to happen? Really? You didn't think anybody would mind? You didn't think anybody would notice? I mean, that is a really good tuck job, but you really didn't think anybody would notice. You've seen the pictures, right? Where she's like towering above all the women. It's bizarre, dude, and like it's. We'll get to some definitions in a moment, but yeah. So let's. I think there's. Does this interview have a clip? I wanted to play that clip. If it's there, it's not. Oh well, that's fine. But even Leah says she's been getting like all this pushback. She tries to just ignore it. Tries to keep her head down and power through. And it's like, okay, but maybe address it. Maybe address it publicly. Maybe if you have an explanation for, why you think that you should be competing, like the whole idea of trans women are women is self-defeating. Because if trans women are women, then why are you calling them trans women? Why do you need that identifier? Why do you need that separate phrase, that separate word? If trans women are women, why are you calling them trans women? If you want to be a trans woman, be the most beautiful, lovely trans woman you possibly can be. That's fine. But this seems pretty obvious, the problems here. And so many people are talking about this that we definitely don't have to spend too much time on it. Because this is not like an end of the world situation here. Like, this is just a situation. This is this is up to athletes, of one of which I am not. So I don't have that strong of a stance other than it seems pretty obvious. If you're being honest, it seems pretty obvious what what's going on here and why. So at least people paid attention to NCAA swimming for the first time in probably history, just to see what would happen here. And it went exactly as everybody thought. Leah knew what was going to happen. I mean, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that you are smart enough to know what is going to happen in this climate, in this society, and everything. You want to be a martyr? Fine. But you're going to have to take the bullets to be a martyr. And I don't mean that literally. I mean metaphorically. I mean, you're going to have to take all the crap. If you want to play the martyr, if you want to go out and change yourself into something else, and then try and compete against other people who were born in that way, fine. But you're going to have to take all the heat that comes with it, because you know the problem. When you're losing to all the men and then suddenly you're first. Just anyway, the Babylon Bee came out, and this was like right around the same time. It's not even necessarily related, but they got their Twitter account banned for nominating Rachel Levine as their Man of the Year, and it's kind of funny, right? I mean, at the very least, it's kind of funny. Man of the Year, Rachel Levine, which, I mean, if Bruce Jenner can transition to Caitlyn Jenner and then be Woman of the Year within a year, then why can't, I don't know how long Rachel Levine has been in transition or whatever, but yeah. I mean, it's a satire thing. It's jokes, guys. It's jokes. And they got banned for hate speech, for calling a biological man a man. I try to be respectful because I'm not here to if somebody has, trauma that leads them to thinking that they're in the wrong body, who am I to beat the crap out of them for that and chastise them? That's not what I'm going for. But we do have to be honest, and we do have to speak about these things realistically, because words have definitions, and that's the only way society functions, is if we're able to actually speak. And we're going to get into more of that in a moment, but I've been saying this for a while. When you try and say, I'm a they, I'm plural, I'm a plural pronoun. It's I can't go with you there. Sorry. There's a line, y'all. If you're, dressing up like a woman and playing the part, I'm going to call you a she, because it's easier to see. If you're passing, if you're putting in the work, then sure, I don't care what's between your legs. But if you're wanting me to call you they, it just doesn't work. Society collapses if we can't communicate, and we can't communicate if we don't know the difference between one person and three people, or a gaggle of transgender folks. I don't know. Words have to mean something. Okay. That's what I'm saying. But Babylon Bee got kicked out, or kicked off Twitter, and this was their response posted on their Instagram. They said, "We just received this notice that we've been locked out of our Twitter account for hateful conduct. Swipe for the notice. We will. We are told our account will be restored in 12 hours, but the countdown won't begin until we delete the tweet that violates Twitter rules. We're not deleting anything. Truth is not hate speech. If the cost of telling the truth is the loss of our Twitter account, then so be it." And technically, they did speak the truth. Now there's things on both ends here, because they're saying we're speaking the truth, but you knew what you were doing. Nothing against Babylon Bee on this. Frankly, they got themselves into hot water, and I can't believe it took this long. They're not surprised, and they're sticking to their guns. Good on them. Great. It was a joke. Obviously, they're not actually giving Rachel Levine an award. They're making a joke. Okay, not the nicest of jokes, but hey, it's a joke. But yeah, they are sticking to their guns. Here is their whatever suspension stuff. Specifically, violating our rules against hateful conduct. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity. Wait. Threaten or harass other people based on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. All the really important things. Also, I've seen quite a lot of people promoting violence, like actual violence and threats and harassment against people with serious diseases or what have you. Whenever an anti-vaxxer gets COVID. But yeah, that's that. I'm not sure exactly how the Babylon Bee's Man of the Year is Rachel Levine. That is all that this says. That which one of these things is that? It promotes violence? No. Threatens? Definitely not. They're giving her an award. Or harass people on the basis. So maybe harassment? I feel like harassment requires like a little bit more than one meme. Just me? I don't know. We have determined that this account violated the Twitter rules specifically for, we read all that. As a result, we've temporarily limited some of your account features. While in this state, you can still browse Twitter, but you're limited to only sending direct messages, blah, blah, blah. 12 hours. Your account will be restored functionally in 12 hours. You can start your countdown and continue on Twitter once you delete the content that violates our rules. Now, this is kind of interesting because they not only are removing the account, or like they're not removing the account, they're suspending the account, hiding it from the world, so Babylon Bee can't use it unless Babylon Bee complies. Like, it's not just a matter of we're going to take your tweet down because it broke our rules. It's you have to bow. You have to do it. You have to do the thing yourself. You have to admit that you were wrong. Until you do that, sorry, we can't help you. This is creepy. It's creepy ground that we're in, y'all. Because they I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do in Babylon Bee's situation, because this, I guess I would have to see their numbers behind the scenes and see how valuable their Twitter even really is, but I imagine it's pretty valuable. But they refuse to delete the tweet, and they're like, screw you. We're not going to submit, and more power to them. Whether or not you agree with whether or not you think the joke is offensive or hilarious is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you think the joke is, mean. It's that Twitter refuses to remove it themselves. They need you to remove it. Just kiss the ring, and then we'll let you go about your business. Just get the vax, just wear the mask, just shut up, sit down, do the thing, and then we will allow you to have all the conveniences of real life. All right. So on this topic of, transgender stuff, I must ask, what even is a woman anymore? Women, how do you feel? Like, and I don't mean those evil, racist, Trump-supporting women out there. I mean to the decent, rational women of anywhere. How do you feel? Like, if you've... Like, the feminist movement was all the rage, like, half a year ago. That was the thing that the Democrats were focusing on. Then they're like, women don't care. We don't care about that. We're just going to go, like, any woman who is against the infiltration, and I don't mean this in a conspiratorial way. I mean the infiltration as in biological men having an advantage and competing against biological women. That is an infiltration into the system. How feminists, how do you feel? You feel loved? Do you feel like your government loves you now? Like, this is the problem with the identity politics and woke bullshit, is that nothing ends up making sense. Everyone is wrong, and the person who is the victim yesterday is now the enemy. So, Dave Smith had a tweet on similar to along the lines of this topic and everything. He said, children do not enjoy all the rights that adults do. Children can't drive, own a gun, smoke, drink, etc. This is reasonable. If an adult wants to have irreversible, elective, genital mutilating surgery, that is their right. It is completely reasonable to say that children can't. I would agree with that. Now, whether or not, I don't know. Yeah, I would agree with that. Pretty much full stop there. But Brendan Morta responded and said, who's going to tell him about a Cirque movie, which is an American circumcision documentary? I suppose. So he's making the joke of, hey, anybody want to tell him how Jews feel about circumcision? And then Dave Smith responded with, I'm already anti-circumcision, which I agree with Dave on that as well. I think that is wrong. And our society doesn't have a reasonable explanation for it, other than it looks weird when you are natural. I mean, we've got showers now, guys. I think we can handle the whole cleaning and thing and stuff. But it is still widely accepted, and I agree. I think it's wrong. And then I'm not entirely sure if this is true. I think it probably is, but just a forewarning, I don't know for sure. Because either this tweet was posted and then it was deleted, or this tweet was fabricated by somebody who wanted to make a funny, which I get, and I'm fine with that. But just a warning, can't confirm, but this was posted. Ncaa commented or like retweeted. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Said, I am already the Dave Smith, I am already anti-circumcision. Ncaa quote tweeted that and just put Jewish in quotation marks, as though Dave Smith is actually not Jewish. Now, you can't really argue with like the heritage thing. Like there's the you have family from Israel. That is not really arguable. That doesn't mean he's like a practicing Orthodox Jew or whatever, practicing Hasidic whatever. I don't know. No, I don't know if you thought that he was initially, but these are like two separate things that have an overlap in the Venn diagram, and that's where all this this anti-Semitic confusion comes in to play. Because if you disagree with the Israeli government, then you must be anti-Semitic, which makes absolutely no sense at all. And let's say Dave Smith didn't like people who believed in Judaism. What if he didn't like? He's not a practice. He calls himself a Christian, for fuck's sake. If he didn't like Judaism, let's say he hated that religion, that still doesn't make him not Jewish. Like that doesn't make him from a different origin. Sorry, Nicholas, but still Jewish, no matter how much you try to pretend like he is anti-Semitic. But of course, Dave Casey, God bless his soul, shared this old meme of mine: "The bigots will not replace us," with all the cast of the Liberty Movement's best up there on top, holding their pitchforks or their tiki torches against all, the hacks, the podcasters, the people that nobody cares about, the Dave Smiths and Spike Cohens and Robbie Bernsteins and, all those fun folks that are, Jewish, being called anti-Semitic. Just, sometimes you just gotta bring out the classics, because it's worth a revisit when you see some of the flagrant insanity. All right, so Leah Thomas, back on that, NBCnews.com tried to make the comparison that Leah Thomas, similar to Jackie Robinson's story. Anyone who cares... Okay, so this is from NBCnews.com, so it's legit. Leah Thomas, NCAA championship performance gives women's sports a crucial opportunity. Yes, the opportunity is people might watch it now. Now that biological men are playing, yes, people might watch it now. Anyone who cares about the advancement of sports and women's sports in particular should celebrate her win. I think this is the right one, where they bring up Jackie Robinson. Let's see. On Saturday, let me make sure this is the right article. Yes. All right, let's just jump to this stupidity. Today, athletes like Jackie Robinson are celebrated as breaking the color barrier in sports, although that narrative often requires sanitizing, simplifying, or rewriting a more complex, nuanced, and contradictory history. What? There remains, though, a cultural investment in celebrating sports firsts, whether that be Jackie Robinson as the first black MLB player, the first openly gay active player in the NBA, the first non-binary athlete to participate in the Winter Olympics or the first woman to score a Power 5 college football game. Many of those, well, you know what all those things have in common? Who cares? Like, if it was something like sure, they are milestones, I suppose, that if somebody who is openly gay comes out and says it, that's fine. I mean, but that doesn't make them better at basketball, and it doesn't make them any more of a hero. They might be more brave than some other closeted NBA players or whatever, but whatever. But yeah, this whole identity thing, like pretending like Jackie Robinson, that situation relates to this. First off, maybe you should have found a female athlete to compare this to. Like, just maybe. For your own good, for your own sake. Maybe you should have found a female in history worth comparing it to. But you didn't. So there's that. Secondly, I don't know, but, you know, I don't think black people genetically have a predisposition to be better at baseball than white people do. But what do I know? If two men, one black and one white, play baseball, I don't expect one to be any more amazing than the other. Sammy Sosa versus Mark McGwire happened for all my childhood, and it was head-to-head the entire time. And they were both steroided out of their minds. So, you know, maybe that's a better comparison. Like the roided out people of the 2000s. But, yeah, making this comparison seems like, you know, pretty, I don't know, a little off color. Maybe because, like, trans folks, like, you guys are the ones. Okay, so person who wrote this article, I am assuming you guys are the ones that spend a whole lot of your time talking about how bad slavery is and how much we should feel bad for for black people now because of slavery when it happened then. That being the case, you taking that, like Jackie Robinson coming out of like Jackie Robinson was in slavery, you know, but like all the segregation there that from really, really much shittier past problems than the trans community. Like trans community, you guys' worst thing was just it has to be a secret. Black people can't hide, can't tuck nearly as well. They can't tuck their black skin away. But yeah, it's just such an off color comparison, I suppose. Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Let's move on. Let's see what we got. Any super chats? Oh, Jack Casey's a super chatter. Yay, fake super chat. Money. Says NPC News. NPC News writes more parody than the Babylon Bee. Guess they don't like the competition. Yes, exactly. NBC News, I'm guessing that's what you were trying to say, makes up things when they feel like it. Jack Casey had another fake super chat. He said, if I wasn't already blocked by Sarwark, I would reply to that tweet, if real, with quote, what? Libertarian. Okay, whatever. Yeah, oh, yeah, I get it. You would have sarcastically said that Sarwark is libertarian. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not blocked by Sarwark. I don't interact with him much. Like, I don't interact with assholes all that much. I like to watch the world burn, but I don't really get into it with certain people because I just don't care. I have responded to him on a couple things, and yeah, it's just never worth any of it because 9 times out of 10, and I may have commented on maybe about 10 of his things, maybe let's say 5. 4 times out of 5, no response. So what's the point? Like just let him flail. Whatever. Who cares? All right. What else do we got here? Oh, on continuing a bit on this topic, y'all heard about what's her face? Ketanji Brown Jackson. This is going to sound bad, but do you think that Biden just looked through a list of candidates? Like he said initially, I'm going to pick somebody. They're going to have 2 qualifications. They're going to have to be good at their job and a black woman. That's what he said. Didn't even have any names. Didn't even have a list to give us. Just good at their job and a black woman. So automatically, cutting most people qualified for the job out of the job, because I'm betting most, I don't know, judges. Are they disproportionately men? I would imagine a lot of them are. I don't know. Judge Judy is like the most famous judge in the world, so I could be completely wrong there. But he had to pick a black woman, his words, not mine, and he did. And I feel like he just went down a list of names and was like, that one. That's the one. Like, I don't care anything about her. She's black, right? And a she? Okay. Trans? No? Okay, fine. Well, all right, fine. We'll let it slide. But Ketanji Brown Jackson. Like, are we in, like, the Matrix for real? Is this a simulation? Because that is, I mean, take this however you want. That's about, like, if you came up with, like, a black name simulator for the internet, that would be, like, top pick. Because Ketanji is, pretty foreign sounding, and us as dumb white folks, anything foreign sounding, yeah. Brown is a descriptor, and Jackson is like the most common, white person black name ever. I don't know. Just seems a little too on the nose for me. But I said before, when he picked her, I was like, hey, I don't know anything about this person. It's fine. Like, I don't care that she's a black woman as long as she's qualified for the job. Obviously, I don't care. Like, whoever is qualified for the job. I wish that he hadn't said that. I wish that he hadn't even announced that. Like, if he came out and said, well, we're going to pick the best person for the job, and then it happened to be Ketanji Brown Jackson, great. Like, even if it wasn't true, even if it was a diversity hire, if he just said, we're going to pick the best person, and it happened, and he said later that it's that person, great. Nobody would have, like, given him shit, but of course he had to do the virtue signaling thing. But so Jackson has been coming under some fire over the last couple days because she got some questioning and on a couple of things. The first one that made the news and has been going around, well, it made certain news outlets because some people don't like to cover these things, I've found. But she seems to let off a lot of, what's the word? Pedophiles? That's it. And like people who do really bad things to children or, coerce and groom and stuff. Those people. She seems to have a really long track record of not only like giving them a low sentencing, but like the lowest sentencing to no sentencing type thing when it comes to that particular area for some reason. I don't understand at all. I don't have an article pulled up for this, which is why I'm just talking here, but I don't understand that. I mean, like, you talk about the slippery slope, and I don't necessarily believe it's true, but there is a slippery, like, I don't think it's like, oh, if you allow gay people to get married, then they're going to transition, then they're going to be pushing for pedophilia. I don't think that's the slope, but it also all is everything that happened. Like, I don't think one leads to the other. I'm not trying to accuse, like, gay people or even, like, or trans people, not accusing anybody of being pedophiles other than pedophiles. It just seems like, I don't know. Seems like one thing just led to another at some point. Like, I know that there are lots and lots of amazing gay and trans people who vehemently are against this type of thing. But then we have people in the legal system who aren't against this type of thing. And a lot of it is because of all of the social justice stuff. Like, we can't judge people based on, like, of course, we don't judge people based on their skin color and stuff like that. Like, that's what they want. They want you to care about skin color. They don't want you to care about quality or content of character. They don't want you to even think about, the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse killed some pedophiles that were white and shouting the N-word that night. They don't want you to think about those things. They want you to know that a guy who likes Trump killed some people at a Black Lives Matter rally. They want you to focus on the Black Lives Matter thing, so that the real story gets covered up, obviously. And that's what we're getting with all of these cases of stuff in schools, pedophilia, Disney, everybody. everybody. It's bad. It's real bad. And if I would say, with all the love and sincerity I possibly can muster, dear LGBTQ whatever folks, I love you. Now you need to be against this right now. Like right now. If you don't want people to believe in a slippery slope that started with you, then you should probably speak out against this. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not blaming you for anything at all, unless that is your proclivity, in which case you should probably, not go on living much longer. By your own hand, just take care of it. But if you want people to accept you, you can't just be love and accept everybody exactly how they are, even if they are pedophiles. Like, that needs to be, like, if somebody is struggling with that mental disorder of that attraction and stuff, they need help, and they need to be told, you are wrong, and you need to figure this out. So, yes, again, with all sincerity, this is not a joke. If you find yourself in that camp, please, for the love of God, speak out about it, because it will mean more coming from you than straight white douchebag Dan. And, like, for your own sake, because all the letters keep adding up to the point where P's coming down the line, folks. And I for y'all, I don't want that to be the case. I don't want that to, like, there are lots of great people out there that need to be talking about this, need to be pointing out that that's going on. But that's one of her flaws, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She seems to love pedophiles. Or at least she doesn't dislike them as much as the law would, dictate that she should, because she's given them the lowest possible and sometimes no sentencing for that type of thing. But we're moving on to the other thing. This is the latest in this questioning for this Supreme Court Justice nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, talking to Blackburn. I don't remember what her first name is. Mrs. Blackburn. Mrs., we'll say. But yeah, it doesn't really matter who she is. This is what a judge had to say when asked about the word woman. Like I said, we'll get to I keep saying we're going to get to the definitions. Here we are to the definition of words. This is what it looks like when a Supreme Court justice is asked, can you define the word woman? Keeping in mind, she is one. Anyway, here we go.
With Georgetown Day School, I found it astounding that it teaches kindergartners, 5-year-old children, and I've got grandchildren, and they teach them that they can choose their gender. So is this what you were praising when you applauded the, and I'm quoting you, transformative power of Georgetown Day School's progressive education? Do you agree that our schools should teach children that they can choose their gender?
Senator, I'm not remembering exactly what quote you're referencing, but Georgetown Day School is...
It was in a book, and you gave the quote.
Georgetown Day School is a private school.
Yes.
I'm
asking, do you agree that schools should teach children that they can choose their gender?
Senator, I'm not making comments about what schools can teach.
Let me ask you this then. United States versus Virginia.
Tough question, by the way. Do you think this? Or do you not? Simple yes or no would suffice, and can't even give that. Now, I don't know, like, how much that plays into her role, but at some point, yeah, you're going to have to, like, figure out what your stance is on things, and we know what the stance is if she's not going to say it, because if she actually cared whether or not school should be allowed to teach kids that they can choose their gender, she would have if she had the obvious stance, what the obvious stance should be, which is, that's none of the teacher's fucking business, and that's between the kid and their parents. If that was her answer, she'd be saying it. But her silence is pretty telling.
The Supreme Court struck down VMI's male-only admission policy. Writing for the majority, Justice Ginsburg stated, "Supposed inherent differences are no longer accepted as a ground for race or national origin classifications. Physical differences between men and women, however, are enduring. The two sexes are not fungible. A community made up exclusively of one sex is different from a community composed of both." Do you agree with Justice Ginsburg
Another tough question.
that there are physical differences between men and women?
Keeping in mind, y'all remember Ginsburg. She was like SNL made her into a badass. Like, they loved her. They praised her. Everybody, the left loved her. And when she was on the downslope, it was tragic for them. And they were like, oh, abortion's going to be over. Roe versus Wade's going to be overturned tomorrow or whatever. Our person's going to be gone and it's under Trump, blah, blah, blah. She was the idol, like, as far as Supreme Court justices go, which I know not too many kids know the names of any of the Supreme Court justices, but seems like a lot more of them knew about Ruth Bader Ginsburg for some reason. Probably because of that Family Guy sketch that always comes to my mind, where they're saying the same thing at the same time. Anyway, I digress. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. She's giving the point of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, this very controversial point that there are differences between men and women. That is the point. And here's the response.
That are enduring.
Senator, respectfully,
Again, yes or no question. That's it. Just a yes or no. Do you agree?
am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to...
You are now, though. You are now familiar because she just told it to you. Not the case, maybe. She told you the quote. Do you agree, yes or no? She sounds a lot more like a lawyer than a judge. I got to be honest.
As to whether
All
or
right.
not.
I'd love to get your opinion on that, and you can submit that. Do you
Whenever you're
interpret
ready.
Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Here we go. Here's what it boils down to. Again, Supreme Court Justice nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. The person who will be deciding fates of law, fates of like how our society functions. She has a large part in that. Very large responsibility she's undertaking here, as far as like defining legalese and, you know, not dictating, but understanding like how words work. She's asked, do you think, or can you define, what was the question? I'll back it up.
On that, and you can submit that. Do you interpret Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Again, because I don't know the case, I don't know how I interpret it. I need to read the whole thing.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Let's break this down to as simple, basic, 5-year-old conversations we possibly can, because you can't handle these big, crazy questions of, do you agree with blank? Or what are your thoughts on blank? I don't know. I've never been here before. I'm brand new. I've never heard of cases having to do with men and women. What are men and women? So here we are finally to the point that I've been making this whole time.
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a
the
biologist.
meaning of the word
You have
woman.
to be a biologist to define the word woman now. If you're not a biologist, you are no longer qualified.
Is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator,
Yes.
in my work
That's correct.
as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a
Yes.
dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide. So I'm not.
Yeah, but how can I be sure that when you're looking at the law and reading it that you have any idea what those words mean either? Like, is it just woman? Is that the only very simple, common vernacular word that doesn't, like, compute as a woman? Does that just not processing right?
the fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. But good God, we're going down, folks. That's wow. Yeah. J8 says, imagine if we didn't have to ask questions that 3-year-olds could answer. What a silly society that would be. Yes, it would. Jack Casey says, assuming adults who transition support children making that difficult life decision before they are old enough to know what the lifelong consequence will be as a mistake. Yeah. Yes. So there's that. This individual, Katanja Brown Jackson, I don't know. Should I say she? I don't know. I don't want to assume or nothing. But she is having some trouble, and I would imagine anybody should get this kind of questioning going in at this point, because the way we're seeing everything go, like let's make a few things clear. When you're not sure of the definition of a word, do you use the dictionary, or you just make things up? Do you just again, if a trans woman is a woman, then what is a trans woman? Or if a trans woman is a woman, what is a woman? This shouldn't be that difficult. And like I had the conversation with Buck Angel a couple of weeks ago. It's like nobody says that you can't exist in society, or you like we're not scared of you or whatever. Like we sympathize, empathize, whatever. We can often even relate to your life experiences and everything. But trying to change the definition of words, or completely remove the definition of words. Like, how have we come this far into this movement where, a fraction of a percent of the population is deciding what the Supreme Court justice is allowed to say, all the way down to women are... I can't really give you a definition of that because I'm not a biologist. It's funny that you have to be a biologist for that, but if you are a biologist and believe that a biological man is a biological man and a biological woman is a biological woman, that's heresy. So what difference would it make, even if you were a biologist, even if that was what it took for you to understand the differences between the word man and the word woman and their definitions? So, God, fun stuff. Super chat from my mom. I read that she's prepared in advance how to dance around questions. Well, yeah, you would have to be at this point. And pretty much always. It's wow. They all are. They all have their script and they will stick to it. But we are going to move on. Oh, Jack Casey, always writing paragraphs. You would think that this guy writes books or something. Jack Casey says, agreed, Dan. That Buck Angel interview and also the stuff Blair White is posting shows how this attempt to push trans stuff on kids is hurting the trans adults who never wanted kids to be harmed, and also hurting the kids, of course. Yes. Yeah, it's like, live your life, do the thing. I not like, I wouldn't encourage somebody to make that choice. I would encourage them to get some mental assessments, mental help, lovingly. Talk to some people, get yourself out of that funk in that situation. It certainly shouldn't be a first choice, and it definitely shouldn't be a choice that anybody is making for anybody under a consenting age. But yeah, this is what it comes to. This is the culmination of all of this. All of this comes to a head once we get Supreme Court justices who can't define what her own gender is. Anyway. Moving on. This was going around, and it's hilarious. You remember I brought up that young lad, Kyle Rittenhouse, earlier? I'm pretty sure he's gay, but we'll find that out in a couple years, and all the conservatives' minds will melt. But Kyle Rittenhouse posted this a couple days ago on his page. It says, no, it's not Lemonheads. It's the burning hole in my pocket, thanks to Joe Biden's presidency. And
that's right, run.
So, for the audio listeners,
that's right, run.
It's Kyle Rittenhouse, when he was crying on the stands, recapping, like having a mental breakdown of his own, recapping the horror that he went through. and he's holding a gas pump in front of a car, in front of a gas station or something. And people were, okay, so the thing says, no, it's not Lemonheads, it's burning a hole in my pocket, the Joe Biden presidency. He's just talking about the gas prices, and he's crying about that. And it's a funny thing. He didn't make it. Somebody else made it. But this is not the part that's the most interesting to me. As somebody who doesn't trust these crazy deepfakes and everything, as a conspiracy theorist, I watched this, and I was like, something's up here. This doesn't seem real to me. Something seems a little bit off about this. Like the way his hand doesn't move very naturally, like he's gripping that thing really stiffly, and he still has great trigger discipline. So hat goes off to him for maintaining that stellar trigger discipline at the gas pump, because right now it matters. I was going to say more, but a whole lot as well, that you're not wasting any of those precious pennies out on the ground. But yeah, something seemed off about this video to me. I don't know, but other people caught it too. Like other people were saying, hey, I think that this video is fake. But I don't think they caught it quite all the way. This comes from Politizoom.com, so you know it's legit. Shooting self in foot. Kyle Rittenhouse imitates his crying jag in court to protest gas prices. So, the main point here, I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's really stupid, but the main point here, they say, they explain it, says when it backfires is that here he is telling all the world, in essence, that he faked his emotion on the witness stand that works to his disadvantage because it sets up the narrative, quote, I got off because I was a good enough actor, not because my cause was just. That, in turn, makes it a little hard for him to claim that he was unjustly treated by the reporters that he wants your money to go sue. So these people think that this video is Kyle Rittenhouse reenacting to a T with the same camera angles, same lighting, same everything. He reenacted it at a gas pump. What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed? Yes, it's a fake video, and yes, you are stupid because clearly this is chopped up really hackily. Like this is a meme. This is clear. This is not just a joke. It's a joke in how corny it looks because it's like cobbled together. He's cut out of the original video. Does this really have to be pointed out to you? Like, did they think that he literally went to a gas station, reenacted this, and got it spot on? Just so close you couldn't even tell the difference. It's because it's the same video, you guys. It's the same video. So they're trying to say it only proves that he acted it the first time because he acted it spot on identically the second time. Like, yeah. Oh, Lord. We're all going to die. Anyway, speaking of deepfakes and deepfakery, there's some other deepfakes going around, particularly one of Mr. Zelensky over there in the Ukraine. You've heard of Ukraine, right? I guess there's like some conflict and stuff going on over there, but this came out and this was going around. So we are going to talk a little bit. We've been covering some of the propaganda from all sides over the last couple of weeks, covering the U.S. propaganda, the Russian propaganda, the Ukraine propaganda. They're all kind of one and the same. They all kind of blur together because you never know. Like if somebody's putting out propaganda, if somebody's putting out this deep fake of Zelensky, is it Russia? So this deepfake basically says, he says, surrender to Russia, lay down your arms, blah, blah, blah. Is that Russia putting it out to try and get Ukrainians to lay down their arms? Or is it like, this could go a lot of ways. This could be the United States put out a deepfake to accuse Russia of like trying to put out propaganda against Zelensky. Like the propaganda spiral goes all the ways, so you can't trust any of it. Just because there's a deep fake of Zelensky doesn't mean that it was Russian propaganda. It could be people trying to frame Russia for putting out propaganda like this. I don't know. It could also very well be just some kid who has deep fake software. Like, it's not that hard, from my understanding, to do a crappy deepfake like this. But this was going around, and a lot of people said, apparently, a lot of people believed it was real because the news had to come out and make sure you knew that it wasn't real, in case you couldn't tell.
Українці, шановні захисники, бути президентом виявилося Не так вже й легко.
I mean, his head is floating. It's not even as good as like the first Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, before they fixed it-ish. It's not even as good as that. It's pretty bad. It's pretty stiff.
Не приймати складні рішення.
Actually, it might be better than the first Luke Skywalker. But, yeah, it's not great. His head is really tiny, and his neck is really long, and his shadow is really awkward.
Спочатку я вирішив повернути Донбас. Настав час глянути правді у вічі.
Anyway, there's that. So a lot of people were saying that a lot of people were believing that this was real. I don't know. I guess people are really stupid. And if you couldn't see that the Kyle Rittenhouse video wasn't a reenactment, then maybe you also can't see that this is a clear, obvious deepfake. But, either way, it's kind of troubling times. That's not the thing I meant to click. It's kind of troubling times when we have this technology. They want the merging of artificial intelligence and humans. They want that transition. They absolutely do. The New World Order, the Great Reset, all these folks, your Klaus Schwabs of the world, they want that. They want those things. And what better way to start than by working in some propaganda, just stir things up a little bit. Maybe we'll get some super soldiers over the next years that we can use to perpetuate these wars as well. We're not going to talk too much about Ukraine today because, frankly, it's just the same. Yes, it's bad, and also I don't want to go to war and kill everyone in society. I live in that sweet spot of nuance where everybody calls you a Russian asset or a Putin propagandist because you don't like the idea of nuclear holocaust. Again, maybe I'm old-fashioned like that. But continuing on with the propaganda and there's another one that has been going around that everybody's saying is fake. Reasonable, rational people are saying this is fake. And I don't know if it is or isn't. Honestly, it's hard to tell, but I took a closer look because it was like non-conspiracy theory type people saying this is clearly filmed in front of a green screen. I think Jack Posobiec was tweeting about it, and I commented on Matt, I don't remember his last name, King Pill guy, Jason Stapleton guy, he posted it and said, does anybody actually not think that this is green screen? I don't think it is. And I could be wrong, and I'm open to being proven wrong, but I don't think it is. It looks weird, yes, but something stood out to me here. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit so you can see better. Something stands out to me here. So he walks up. It looks like a green screen. This is, I guess, they were saying that he's in Kiev, and this is Jack Posobiec's tweet. He said, did Reuters edit out the beginning of Zelensky's video? So he's not directly saying that it's a fake, but he's alluding to it, and everybody else is alluding to it as well. But you watch this. It's awkward. It's weird, but it's kind of like that Biden fuzzy mic situation where they're like, oh, this was photoshopped, this is whatever, and then I dug into it more and I don't really think this is photoshopped. Actually, I think this is a unintentional camera trick. I don't think that they had Biden in front of a green screen doing that interview. I don't. Maybe it was. Yes, Matt Erickson. Thank you, Mugu. But yeah, this is kind of like the same situation. Let's just watch through and then I'll dissect. Actually, we don't really have to watch all the way through because I don't know what he's saying. And it doesn't really matter what he's saying because the real debate here is just whether Zelensky is in Kyiv or is he not, and he's faking it in front of a green screen. The thing that threw me, the thing that made me go, and the first thing that I look for, and something that you should look for when you're digging into conspiracy stuff, if you don't just believe things because people say them, actually look harder. Look into how cameras work, how lighting works. Crappy cameras, yes, the background is a different color, different white balance than he is, but that could just be because that's lit up by street lights and he's lit up by camera lights right in front of him that aren't bright enough to be projecting or casting luminance on the buildings behind him. So you can explain the difference. I've had this situation myself. I work in video, if you're not familiar, and I work in conspiracy shit. So it's kind of a subject for me. But it's absolutely possible that that lighting could be different than that lighting, just with different lighting. And if you have not the greatest camera, it doesn't blend well. So that could explain that. Again, not saying that that's the case, but the main thing is watch down here, down in the lower right hand. The first thing I always look for in a video like this where they're saying it's a green screen is shadow. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Because yes, you can put up a bed sheet. You can put up a green screen. You can cut out your background. You can put something into it or something behind you. Zoom. You can do it on Zoom. But if somebody's walking, they're going to be casting a shadow. And if they're in front of a green screen, that shadow is going to be just flat against the wall. And there's a shadow that follows them all the way up to the camera. It does glitch a little bit, so I'm not entirely sure if that is, a fake shadow and they didn't get it quite right, but they got it pretty darn good, I would say. And if you were going to get the shadow that good, I feel like you would probably get the background a little bit better synced. Like if these are two separate elements, him, the background, and they put a shadow in, I would think it would be easier to color correct that combination. But watch the shadow. See? Right here. Right here. There is a shadow. Caster's on the ground. Now, I don't know. That could be done. It's not a great looking shadow, but it is a shadow nonetheless that moves with him as he walks. So I am prone to believe that this is probably legit, and the people who are jumping to the conclusion that it's a green screen, maybe, like, I'm not saying you're wrong, you might be right, but maybe just slow your roll a bit, because that doesn't even necessarily prove, I mean, it might prove that he's not in Kyiv or whatever, but it could also just prove that he did it in front of a green screen. Explain the shadow, that's all. Like, that's my best assessment of this. I don't think it is a green screen, but yeah. Somebody else put this in. They said, for those saying Zelensky was using a green screen, here's another angle. The balls on this guy. Now, you'll notice the obvious issue with this. Like, this might prove that he's in Kyiv or was in Kyiv at some point, but this doesn't prove that that's the same shot as this for obvious reasons. And those reasons are, one is nighttime and one is daytime. He is wearing, it looks like, the same jacket. So probably was most likely was filmed on the same day, and I'm assuming that that this is Kyiv in the background. I couldn't tell you for sure, but yeah, they're okay. So I am wondering, is he saying the same thing here? Is this the same speech that he gave in the other one? I don't know. Let's see.
Добрий вечір всім. Зазвичай в такі дні ми говорили.
I don't know. It's all the same. If you speak Russian, let me know. Are these the same speeches? Hit me up if you want me to send you the link so you can assess them and see back to back if they are the same. But yeah, I don't think the fact that he was in Kyiv one time in the same outfit. Like, if he's making if it is the same speech, and this is supposed to be a different angle of the same speech, that raises even more questions because you turned it from day into night. So, what the hell? I don't think that's the case. Probably earlier on in the day he filmed this, and then later on he filmed that. That's, I mean, the most logical explanation for this. And yeah, let's see. Do you guys disagree on the green screen? Let me know. Totes legit. I work in video and work in conspiracy shit. Thanks, Shannon. Thank you for repeating myself back to me to let me know how smart I sound. I really appreciate it. Ncaa Swimming says, if Dan is a deep fake, who is deep faking him? That is the real question, and I'm pretty sure it is Vladimir Putin. White Graper. Oh, great. Great. Yeah, okay. At the system is down. What's the ding sound? The ding sound is probably the chats. The chats are on. All right. Hey, no shame, Groiper. Just mind your shit. That's all I'm saying. So Magoo says the shadow begins. The shadow belongs to the ghost of Kyiv. Yes, that's probably the most logical. Ncaa Swimming says the green screen conspiracy is to distract us. Yeah, I think a lot of these things probably are. I don't know. This is to me, I don't even take it to that level of conspiracy on this one, because it's like, so you had a bad video and everybody jumped to conclusions about it. Like, this is not that nefarious. Anarcho Zero says, why would it be surprising or notable if he wore the same jacket? Just, I don't know, lucky coincidence, I suppose, that one time he was in Kyiv and he wore that same outfit, and now he's in Kyiv wearing that same outfit. I mean, I don't know how many outfits this guy has. Maybe they're all just tacky, khaki jackets. Anyway. Let's see. Can you mute the ding sound? Get your own show. All right. Anyway, moving on. What else do we got? A couple more things. Oh, I thought it was interesting. So a lot of this stuff is, a lot of the propaganda is just like tear jerking, heartstring jerking stuff. And this one is going to get me into trouble for bringing it up. But this one is from itv.com, so you know it's legit. The headline is, Survived Hitler, Murdered by Putin. Survivor of 4 Nazi concentration camps killed by Russians. Now, I'm not a historian, and I'm not looking to get canceled, but I feel like, I'm probably wrong on this, but I feel like I have heard at least 10 times in my life that the last Holocaust survivor has died. Am I the only one? Like, I feel like I've heard this multiple times in my life, that the last Holocaust survivor has died. And they keep coming back. Now, whatever. Whatever. I hope they're not all dead. I don't know. But it seems like they keep coming back. And this is, just, it's sad. Yeah. That he survived, he made it that far, and then Putin killed him, if this is true, which I'm going to assume it is. But, it's always interesting, and it's always real convenient when they scream, you can't make Holocaust comparisons for 2 years straight, and then everything is like a Holocaust comparison now. Everything Putin does is Hitler, and everything, like, anybody who supports him is a Nazi now. Like, the whole thing has shifted. Meanwhile, there are neo-Nazis running the Azov battalion in Ukraine. So we're not only conflating hypocritically conflating the Holocaust to this situation with Russia. Now we are also not going to acknowledge the literal Nazis in the room. Now, I think Putin is a bad guy, and I also think Nazis are bad. And I think that Volodymyr Zelensky has a lot more shady things in his history than we are willing to talk about right now. Not to mention, the U.S. has killed more than any of them. But who's counting? Let's see. White Groiper says, I'm a Holocaust survivor, and I'm only 29. I mean, yeah, you made it. Jack Casey says, this seems fake. The camps, I mean. Jeez. This is not the show that I'm meaning to create here, you guys. So don't do it. No. In a post on their website, the Holocaust Memorial Foundation said, it is with horror that we report the violent death of Boris something in the war in Ukraine. The former prisoner, I don't know. Like, if we're going to make it a thing that he's a Holocaust survivor dying now, then why aren't we making it a thing that the Nazis are a thing, but they're not the Russian guys? Or maybe they are. I'm sure a lot of them are as well. I don't know, but they're definitely the Ukraine guys. Some of the Ukraine guys. All right. So there's that. I just thought it was interesting. Sorry, that sucks that you died, but yeah. What do these things have to do with it? Sure, it's great. He did everything in his life. He survived 4 concentration camps, and then he just dies now. First off, man, that's quite an impressive survival record to die, and tragic and stuff, but it feels a little sus. That's all I'm saying. All right, Jack Casey. Just Just die. I love you. Jane 8 said, I heard that Putin killed the last American slave recently. What a tragedy. Yes. Shannon says, R.I.P. TSID. Yes. We are going to get out of here in a minute. I did have one motivational word that I wanted to share with you before we go, and that's pertaining to the same topic of the Russia-Ukraine stuff. If I have made you think at all that I am against you going over and fighting for Ukraine, I am not. I am perfectly fine with you going over and doing whatever you want and suffering the consequences of your actions. I don't think that you have the ability to start a world war, but I do think that the powers that be have the ability to start a world war, and I, for one, am not a fan. Not a fan. But this guy is, and he's very passionate about it, and I want to share this with you. So just let your heart be opened, let your tears be jerked, let him jerk around your tears. Here you go. This is the recruiting officer recruiting the Richardson City Council to enlist in World War III. This is Matthews. Don't know his first name, but tear jerking. Here we go.
That's what I ask you. I ask you to sign up for this man right here. He would do it for you. He loves Richardson, Texas. I love Richardson, Texas. This is an important city and an important metroplex. And I said this at the beginning, and I'll say this at the end. It only takes one of you to inspire thousands, to inspire millions, to go fight a war and to win.
This guy is like a young Brett Kavanaugh lookalike. Like, not even that young, just like 10 years younger Brett Kavanaugh. Really passionate, really fired up to go die in a war.
Because when history writes it in the books, you're going to be on one side, either the good side or the bad side.
Sorry, bud, but when it comes to the Ukraine-Russia situation, I identify as non-binary. Thank you very much.
Are you going to be with Vladimir Putin? I sure as heck wouldn't want to be with Vladimir Putin. I know that. The man's evil. He's killing children. He's killing stray animals, cats, with his bombs.
He's killing children, also cats. I mean, I don't know who. Maybe he was going for the left. Maybe he was going for people that just love abortion. They're like, I don't care about children. And he's like, but cats. Oh, shit. He's killing cats, too. I'm in. Sign me up.
I'm a vegetarian. I don't even eat meat. When I see on the TV and I see a cat burned up from a bomb, it makes me sick. I realize I got to do something about it.
Is this a troll? Magoo said his trolling is question mark. Is it a troll? I don't think it is. Dan, you know this is a troll, right? I don't know. I don't know if it's a troll. Either way, it moves me. I don't know why you're so heartless and a Putin apologist to not be swayed by this. But even if it's a troll, so be it. He's dressed in military uniform. I would like to. If somebody can find me the contact information for Mr. Matthews here, I will happily have him on, and he can yell and scream for an entire hour on the show. I fully welcome it. Whether it's real or fake, I don't care.
But you can do something about it.
And even if it's fake, so whether it's real or fake, doesn't matter. The outrage is fake. Like, nobody is this hyped up about this thing. No matter what they put in their display pic on their, on their social media. It is an absolute tragedy that people are dying. Don't get me wrong. On both sides, it's an absolute tragedy that the Ukrainian people are suffering and dying. It's also an absolute tragedy that Russian people are being sent into a stupid war. It's also a tragedy that Russian citizens are being punished by the United States. Like, we're boycotting Subway because they won't take Subway away from Russia, because Subway was what was fueling the Russians. It was the eating fresh. The eating fresh is what made them so strong and so able to take over Ukraine right now. All the sanctions, all the nonsense. It's like you're punishing, and I've said this a bunch of times, every episode since this started, I'm pretty sure. All these sanctions do is punish the people of Russia, and the fat cats, the wealthy 1%, the Putins of the country. They're doing okay. They're doing fine. Just fine without you. Just fine without their Subway diet, I would imagine. But Subway is standing strong. They're on the shit list right now for not boycotting Russia.
When you join Ukraine's Foreign Legion, we're going to train.
White Groper says, the system's down. This is the conspiracy castle guy. I'm not familiar, but I like him.
You don't even need any training. We're going to teach you. As a matter of fact, we'd prefer if you didn't have training because we don't want somebody that's all messed up. We want to teach you your gun skills. We're going to teach you how to fight.
Okay, so I can catch a Zelensky thing that I don't think is actually fake, that everybody's saying is fake, but the parodies, they're getting too good. I mean, when the news is so absolutely asinine, the parodies, it's harder and harder to tell. Like, this is more compelling than the Zelensky deepfake.
I'm going to teach you how to win. So I ask you, who is going to sign up today? Who's going to stand up and sign up for this? Who's going to do it? Are you going to sign up? No? Are you going to sign up?
Adam Choate said, thinking about DMing you on Twitter to see just how live we are here. I mean, I'm responding to you in real time. I'm not sure how much more evidence you need for your conspiracy theory here. But, yeah, he goes around to all the people and gives them the paper, which, yes. So apparently this is a troll move, which I think is great. And I love what he's doing then in this case of being like, hey, we should do this. You should do this. We should all do this. Come do this with me. Yeah, we're on this side. Let's go do this. Sign up. And, of course, all these blowhards, they always want to send your kids. They never want to send their own kids. They never want to go themselves. They just want magic. They want all the evil in the world to magically stop while they do nothing to stop it.
Could you please stand behind the... Sir, I won't ask you again. Please go behind the podium.
See, that's a difference, Paul. You're a coward. You're not willing to die for this, but I am. That's the difference between you and me. You are a coward, and I'm a hero.
All right.
This is a hero. You would never know what it's like, Paul, to be like this. You will never know what it's like to be president. You will never know. And
the problem is this is believable, and there are people on Twitter that sound like this. There are people on Twitter who, when they type in their all caps and tell you would never know how great of a person Volodymyr Zelensky is. Sorry, Justin. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing and just pretend like I didn't say that.
You'll never fight, and you will be on the wrong side of history. And all you have to do is sign up on this forum right now, and you can go fight.
Thank you for your public comments.
Thank you.
Your time is over.
I appreciate that. If you guys want more information, go to Primetime Stein on Instagram. That's where you're going to be able to sign up. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right. So there's that. I think that's a good way to wrap up here. And I am keeping this under 2 hours, so it is going to be shorter than normal. But we are still going to do an after party. So if you want to get in there, go on over to the Patreon, sign up now, and you will get right in. And for as little as $1, you can join in on the live stream of the after party where we keep this thing going, get more weird, more raw, more offensive, and more real over there, talk about some more news, make some more jokes, piss more people off, and have some fun in our nice, weird little community. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for checking this out. This has been fun. Got some new people in here. Got some new opinions in here. That should be fun around here. That's fine. I welcome all opinions. Yeah. Yeah, Jussie Smollett's out. That's cool. Glad for him. Leah Thomas is the best female swimmer ever. What else did we cover today? Nick Sarwark allegedly doesn't think that Jewish people are Jewish. What's new? And let's see. Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't know how to define the word woman. The news doesn't know the difference between acting and cropping a video. Or masking a video, deepfakes of Zelensky, and all sorts of fun stuff. So it's been a good one. And thank you for being here to join me for it. I will be in Delaware this weekend hanging out with Dave Casey and giving my little speech at their convention down there, or over there, or up there, wherever. Over there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be shooting some stuff and hanging out and probably going to do some podcasting in one way or another. I'm going to be at his house for like 2 or 3 days. So something's going to happen when me and Dave get together. So thank you guys for being here. Be on the lookout for all of that. And come join the Downers Club, and we'll keep this party going for a little bit longer and a little bit funner. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep your stick out of the mud. Keep the ice cool and the coffee warm. And yeah, do all the things millennials do, like, share, subscribe, all that bullshit, and continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, be bad, have fun. I'll talk to you next week. See ya.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.